Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors are in a difficult situation. Kuminga's market value has fallen. The market for him is limited. And the elite wings the Warriors want are either unavailable or too expensive. RJ Barrett represents an intermediate option. He's young enough to fit into the Warriors' schedule. His contract expires before the team commits to long-term contracts. And he offers the scoring ability and offensive versatility the Warriors so desperately need. The Golden State Warriors are stuck in a holding pattern with Jonathan Kuminga. The February 5th deadline is approaching. Kuminga has demanded a trade. Golden State wants to move him. The problem is finding the right deal. According to ESPN's Shams Charania and Anthony Slater, the Sacramento Kings and Dallas Mavericks have shown interest. Neither team has presented a package that makes sense for the Warriors. Golden State is holding a depreciating asset with limited options and no clear path forward. Joe Akeley of Sports Illustrated proposed a 4-team trade that would land the Warriors a young scoring wing while clearing Kuminga off the roster. The 4-team trade proposal. Warriors receive RJ Barrett. Raptors receive Anthony Davis, Caleb Martin. Mavericks receive Emmanuel Quickley, Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, 2026 first-round pick, via Warriors. Jazz receive Dwight Powell, 2032 second-round pick, via Dallas. The trade addresses Golden State's need for a wing while moving Kuminga to Dallas. The Toronto Raptors land the star they have been pursuing. The Mavericks get younger and add draft capital. The Utah Jazz collect assets for taking on salary. Why the Warriors would consider this trade? Barrett is not Trey Murphy III. He is not Michael Porter Jr. The 25-year-old wing is averaging 19.6 points per game on 49.6% shooting and 35.5% from three. Those are solid numbers, but they do not move the Warriors into championship contention. Barrett is a fallback option, not the primary target. But if the New Orleans Pelicans refuse to trade Murphy and the Brooklyn Nets demand too much draft capital for Porter, Barrett becomes one of the better alternatives available. The other option frequently mentioned is Jeremy Grant. Grant is 31 years old and under contract through the 2027-28 season at $34.2 million next year and $36.4 million the year after. Barrett is 6 years younger and his contract expires after the 2026-27 season, giving the Warriors more flexibility moving forward. Barrett would immediately become the third scorer Golden State has been lacking. He can create his own shot, attack the rim, and stretch the floor enough to keep defenses honest. Pairing him with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green would still create spacing issues, but Barrett's offensive versatility would at least provide another dimension the Warriors do not currently have. The cost is a 2026 first-round pick, which could land in the late teens if Golden State continues to improve. That is not an insignificant price, but it is far less than what the Nets are reportedly asking for Porter. Warriors got the biggest free agency steal of the entire NBA offseason. DeAnthony Melton continues to stake his claim as the biggest free agency steal of last offseason, putting in another huge performance during the Golden State Warriors' 136-116 victory over the Charlotte Hornets at Chase Center on Saturday night. After a slow start shooting the ball upon his return from a long-term knee injury, Melton has quickly become everything the Warriors envisioned and all the while making only $3.1 million this season. Warriors got huge free agency steal with DeAnthony Melton. That's undoubtedly one of the most valuable and team-friendly deals in the entire league, with Melton going for 19 or more points in 4 of his last 6 games despite remaining on a minutes restriction off the bench. The 27-year-old broke his season high in scoring again on Saturday against the Hornets, going for 24 points on 8 of 16 shooting from the floor, 3 of 6 from three-point range and 5 of 5 from the free throw line. As a near 37% three-point shooter for his career, there's no surprise that Melton's shot has come around after early struggles. What may be more surprising is just how incredible he's looked athletically, and most notably with his ability to explode to the rim off the dribble. Melton also added 6 rebounds, 3 assists and 1 steal in just over 21 minutes on Saturday night, finishing as an equal game-high plus 24 in the 20-point win. Golden State are now remarkably plus 148 in Melton's 281 minutes over the last 15 games, coinciding with an 11-4 record and their best form of the season. While Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office may currently face some criticism and pressure to ensure they get the Jonathan Kuminga trade right in the coming weeks, they do deserve some credit for the Melton signing in free agency. There's no doubt that reacquiring the 6 feet 2 inches guard on essentially a minimum contract was always going to be worthwhile. The bigger credit should stem from the fact they clearly retained a relationship despite trading him to the Brooklyn Nets after his injury last season, allowing Melton to feel comfortable enough to return after initially joining the franchise on a 1-year, $12.5 million contract in the 2024 offseason. The Warriors may be enjoying the fruits of one of the biggest free agency steals in the league right now, but they will have to consider how they can keep Melton long-term given his form certainly warrants opting out of his $3.5 million option for next season. Warriors must avoid disastrous center trade target at absolutely all costs. The Golden State Warriors may look at an upgrade at center before next month's midseason trade deadline, but they should be avoiding what would be a disastrous move for Dallas Mavericks big man Daniel Gafford. Gafford is drawing plenty of trade speculation leading into the deadline, yet his injury concerns, contract and likely role with the Warriors means a move for the 27-year-old would be unwise in the coming weeks. Warriors should avoid Daniel Gafford trade at all costs. Gafford has appeared in 29 games for the Mavericks this season including 20 starts, averaging 7.8 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks. That might not be the greatest reflection of what the 6 feet 10 inches center can do, having posted 12.3 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.8 blocks last season. There's no doubt that, when healthy, Gafford can provide the sort of two-way interior impact that Golden State currently lack. He can be a vicious dunker and lob threat offensively, while protecting the rim with elite athleticism on the other end. Tracy Jackson-Davis was providing some of that for the Warriors in recent weeks, having averaged over 15 minutes between December 6 and January 2. The third-year center has since been removed from the rotation again, leaving Golden State with their pair of stretch bigs in Quinton Post and Al Horford, along with Draymond Green as a prominent small ball option. Gafford could be a realistic option for Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office before the deadline, particularly when the Mavericks have reportedly shown interest in want-away forward Jonathan Kuminga. But as much as the Warriors could do with a two-way interior presence to complement what they currently have, the cost of Gafford is too significant for them to truly consider a move before February 5. Firstly, with Gafford not being a floor spacer whatsoever, he likely wouldn't be a starter in a frontcourt featuring Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. In fact, you'd have to wonder whether he'd even play 20 minutes in Steve Kerr's rotation, particularly come playoff time when Golden State inevitably like to go small. Perhaps more importantly, ESPN's Shams Charania and Anthony Slater reported on Thursday that the Warriors are targeting expiring contracts in a Kuminga trade. With 3 years and $54.4 million on his contract, Gafford doesn't align with that objective whatsoever. Golden State should be willing to sacrifice their future payroll flexibility for certain targets, but Gafford isn't one of those as a non-star whose role would be limited. The Warriors should be aiming higher in a Kuminga trade before the deadline, utilizing their future draft assets for a major upgrade that would strengthen their championship hopes. Austin Rivers completely slams the Warriors because of Jonathan Kuminga's absurd situation. The Jonathan Kuminga is very close to coming to a head with the trade since the forward is now eligible to be traded, but one former NBA player is still in disbelief about the whole situation. Kuminga hasn't played for the Warriors since the December 18 and by all reports, doesn't want to play, despite the fact the team are in desperate need of another scorer as the team continues to flail in 8th seed with a 24-19 record on the season. The Jonathan Kuminga situation is complete bullshit. Austin Rivers said on his podcast. The way they have treated Kuminga is something that I haven't seen in quite a while. Alright, this is a 20-point per game caliber player. I know this because he's done it. When guys were hurt, he literally averaged 20 plus for a month and some change. I'm not making this up, this happened. Alright, last year that he was in and out of the lineup, didn't even play in the playoffs, then they bring him in one game off the bench, he scores 30. Alright? In a playoff game. Kuminga has played in just 18 games for the Warriors this season, averaging 11.8 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game on 43.1% shooting from the field and 32% from three, and Rivers is baffled that his talent continues to get wasted on the bench night after night. Kuminga is a freak talent and athlete, Rivers continued. I'm talking about he does things on the court jumping-wise and explosion-wise that people are like, whoa. How the hell can this guy not get a minute on a sorry-ass Warriors team? It drives me crazy. I watch the Warriors all the time. I watch more basketball now in my life than I ever have due to my new job at NBC. And I'm watching this piss-poor-ass Warriors team and I'm like, how the hell goes this guy not get off the bench? I'm watching Podziemski, Moody, a bunch of other random-ass players, and those guys are good. And Moody's solid, Podziemski's solid. They got other players I've never heard of. Pat Spencer plays before Kuminga. He hasn't played in 14 games. He's 6'8" and is a scorer. The Warriors half the time struggle scoring and they have a 20-point-per-game player who sits at the end of the bench because the coach don't like him. It's personal and I know this because I'm close to Kuminga's camp. I know about things that I can't say on air. Warriors legend voted most admired leader at the right time. The drama surrounding Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga continues to elevate as February's trade deadline approaches. Despite being healthy, Kuminga has missed 15 consecutive games at the decision of head coach Steve Kerr. Kuminga began the season as a consistent starter before Kerr relegated him to Golden State's secondary unit in mid-November. This season, the 23-year-old forward is averaging 11.8 points and 6.2 rebounds over 18 games. Kuminga reportedly requested a trade from the Warriors on January 15, the first day that he was eligible to be moved. This suggests that the relationship between Kuminga and the Warriors organization is beyond strained. Sports leaders show trust in Steve Kerr. Former NBA player Kendrick Perkins believes that Kerr is to blame for not showing confidence in Kuminga. However, there are numerous experienced leaders who trust Kerr's leadership style. Last week, The Athletic named Kerr the most admired leader in North American sports for 2025. The site polled over 100 sports professionals, including former and current coaches, players, executives, and others in positions of leadership. Tara Vanderveer, former Stanford women's basketball coach, explained why she voted for Kerr. In the pros, you're going to trade people, but I think he's loyal to the person, and he's also true to the team in that he has to make tough decisions that are all about making the team better. Kerr has won 4 NBA championships as head coach of the Warriors. He was later named one of the top 15 coaches in NBA history. With a 24-19 record, the Warriors hold the 8th spot in the Western Conference standings. Despite the brewing situation surrounding Kuminga, Kerr is well within reach of coaching the Warriors to another playoff appearance. In all likelihood, the Warriors will search for a suitable trade partner to move Kuminga. The one-time NBA champion is currently signed to a 2-year, $48.5 million contract.